Hey, what's up, guys? Got a neat little experience that happened today. Uh, go through this little video clip that basically shows energy coming from the sun and energy coming from the planet. I'll just get right to it. Alright, so the beginning of the frame, I got a 5 hour window set up here on these two tools today, and they're set up identical. We've got the magnetosphere tool, also known as the Y-cut, showing magnetic field lines. And then we have the polarity map, aka solar wind velocity. It shows the wind direction of solar wind around the planet inside the magnetopause. And this information is coming from, well, we only have 2 satellites left shown, but we have, this is, I believe, well, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not the moon, but it goes 14, probably goes 13. Okay, so back to the magnetic field lines tool, showing the magnetosphere. Now, the beginning of this movie clip, it just shows basically these are all closed field lines. Right here in red. This should never do this with a static magnet. The Earth is a magnet, but here we have a working magnet. And basically it is balancing out its energy flow from the front. So here, what has happened is I'll show you some energy coming from the sun. Got a little thin band here, but we'll continue forward and you'll see it again. We got a nice red band here. This is coming from the sun. It's almost getting ready to hit our magnetosphere, a pause, the bow shock, our shield that blocks a lot of energy coming from the sun. The radiation blocks it around us, but some gets through. Anyways, the wave continues on. And there's an example of energy coming from the sun going on by. We've got lots of little things going on here. That's, again, closed field lines. They are doing this because there are magnets behind us. That's the only way closed field lines would be here, is if it's interacting with another magnet. But lately we've had these started going on and they explode out the back sometimes. And it's just basically a big mess in here because there's several bodies in here. And it's the only reason why we would even have closed field lines in all this mess. We even have IMF lines coming in from the back. And now this is the big blue elephant that no one talks about. But it's showing us that there is another magnet back here that is no way, shape, or form connected to Earth. If you notice this blue for the color coding, IMF line, not connected to Earth. Only polar cap lines and closed field lines are connected and associated with Earth's magnetic field. So blue means not connected, standalone. There's another magnet here. Now these vertical lines are supposed to depict the way they designed the tool to show other bodies, basically the planets in our solar system, and the single line up front shows the connection to the sun. It's just the way they set up the tool. Now, we're going to progress forward in time. As you can see, those closed field lines are starting. And now we're pushing out. Now, this is the one I wanted to show, right there. All normal, basically. This is fairly normal, except for basically it should just be one closed field line here, but now we've got one wrapping all the way around. a polar cap line that's then converting over to a closed field line. And the closed field lines are here in the front because the magnetic pause is a magnetic field. The flow of energy through it, it has a magnetic field. That's why the lines are closed here. But closed lines at the back is the same thing. It shouldn't happen unless there's a magnetic field here, separate than our own, essentially. Now, as we progress forward, you'll see this blow up and expand and push out the back. But did you notice really anything coming in the front over here from the sun side? Not those thick red bands that we saw. I mean, there was a little bit there, but nothing like what we saw in the very beginning. Right here. So, sun side energy, this was already going before this push. Planet Earth was pushing before the energy got here. And there's the very beginning. No energy from the front. It's already pushing. There are magnetic bodies in here. There's one here. And I've seen through different frames. Basically, there's magnetic bodies from here all the way back. Multiple. 5 or 6. And you understand magnets. There's 3 or 4 ways to confirm these objects are here. Closed field lines show us, IMF lines show us, polar cap lines show us, the polarity map shows us, pressure differences shows us, eddy currents shows us. There's 5 or 6 ways that we can confirm that there are magnetic bodies here in this little window that we can see. But this is all we get to look at, and it's showing us a lot. Okay, so now the other way to tell is we saw there was no bands coming in the front when this one happened. Nothing. We go over here to the polarity map or solar wind velocity tool, and this is the same time. Let's just progress forward. And you'll see that same band come in the front from the sun side. Now again, these satellites are detecting this information from inside the bow shock. So energy from the outside doesn't necessarily affect the inside of the shield. Not always. Alright, so we're just going to progress forward, and we're seeing numbers over here. This is our wind speed in kilometers per second. 3 to 500. We're just going to keep 4 and stay in 400s. Okay, that's cool. Normal. Get a little bit of 500s in there. 700. 1026. 1126. So that's somewhere around 3 million miles per second. But where did that kind of wind speed come from? We know it didn't come from the sun side, because where's that big band of energy that we saw before? It's not there. Here we go. This is SWPC. This is Discover satellite, which is sitting between us and the sun, pointed at the sun to give us an advance warning, along with stereo A, giving us an advance warning of what's coming from the sun. Basically, all our numbers from the sun are 350 kilometers per second and lower. So that means everything coming from the side should be around 350, 400 kilometers per second, which we do see that baseline number. But when we get to that event I'm showing you, we're at 1126. No energy from the front. And this polarity map shows very well where that energy came from. Just follow the arrows back. The arrows lead right to Earth. Now, one thing you got to understand is why this can look a little different. Back it up. That's probably right there about where the 11, well, let's see, time-wise. 1145, 1140, or 1845, 1845. Okay, same frame. Where does it look like to you that this is coming from? To me, it's very clear. There's only one place. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to read this. It's very clear where this energy came from. These satellites here are giving us this number. Not Discover, not ACE, not Stereo A, not Stereo B. GOES 14 and GOES 13. Number read from inside. So, no energy on the outside, lots of energy on the inside, so it's coming from Earth. So, I got another video on this. I did it the last time. Probably late November. I don't have very many videos, so late November, early December, you'll see this again. The title was something, how to tell where the energy is coming from, the sun or the Earth. It's just another example of the same thing we're talking about here. This is a great little tool to know what's going on. There are some people who talk about it, but, you know, if you're looking at the tool, I always find it's helpful to drag the cursor and look at it. And you can see progress. It's like a stream in the woods, moving around rocks and all kinds of things, but those rocks aren't supposed to be there in this tool, but yet they are. Let me show you an example of an eddy current shown in this tool. That's pretty good. Definition of an eddy current per wiki is there has to be a body there to disturb the field. Well, you may say, well, yeah, it's called a freaking planet called Earth there, but the wind is showing its own eddy current up here and here. Well, we got the exact same thing right here. One side of the left side of the field, right side of the field. If you look up the pictures on Wiki, I don't have time to open it, you'll see this. But in this situation right here, there are two eddy currents. One here and one here. Well, you have to have a magnet to have an eddy current. We got one magnet here and one magnet here. And you can adjust the slider around to change the picture. I mean, everything's moving around. It's crazy. But again, this is a push from Earth pushing out against other magnets. Now, let's see if I can show a pressure example. Nothing standing out. I mean, there's always these two, but you know, that's not as clear. Well, there you go. That's a good possibility. Closed field lines are showing something here. There, you know, you've got where it's closing and opening back up to go around a body. If you understand magnetic field lines, it's a pretty clear example. So check out these tools. They are showing us multiple magnets behind us every day. They didn't used to be every day. We'd see them one a day, maybe one every few days, but now they're just here. But remember the big blue elephant in the back. that nobody talks about, but it's here. And this means